The night before Halloween, a night that brings the promise of tricks and treats, of costumes and revelry. But here, in the sleepy town of Hollowbrook, this night has always held a deeper meaning, a deeper, darker secret. Hollowbrook. A town with a history older than most care to remember. A town steeped in legends.
Join us
Tonight,
in the dark.
The town holds
There
its
is
breath,
no escape.
caught between the living and the dead. Centuries ago, this land was cursed. Long before the town was founded, a pack of vicious werewolves roamed these woods. Their hunger was insatiable, and their terror spread far and wide. But Hollowbrook was built atop an ancient pact, one that bound the wolves to the earth, keeping them trapped in the shadows. A pact made with blood. Every 100 years, on Halloween night, the wolves stir. The full moon rises, and the curse comes alive, unlocking the gates of hell and freeing the monsters within. The townspeople have always known the danger, but each generation chooses to forget, to live in the safety of their ignorance. But tonight, Hollowbrook will remember. Tonight, the full moon rises again, and with it, the curse. The wolves will return. As the clock strikes midnight, the curse will begin. The ground beneath Hollowbrook will tremble. The air will grow thick with dread, and the wolves will walk among us once more. The moon rises tonight, full, bright, and hungry. The town is on edge. The wind howls more violently than usual. Strange, unnatural whispers fill the air, carrying across the empty streets. The children laugh, but their eyes dart nervously, as if something is following them. They stop and look into the shadows. The animals are feeling it too. Cats hide in dark corners. Dogs bark incessantly at nothing. The town is waking to something it has long forgotten, or perhaps something it's always known. And it's not just the children. The old-timers remember. They remember the stories, the warnings passed down through generations. The curse is not just a tale, it's a truth. And the moon tonight will prove it. In the local tavern, the old men whisper to one another, feeling the weight of the night settling in. One of them speaks, his voice low and tremulous. It's happening again, isn't it? You can feel it, can't you? The curse is returning. The wolves, they're coming. Every Halloween, it's always been this way. Some remember the old stories, the tales passed down through the generations of the curse, of the wolves, of the pact that was forged long ago. But the town, the children, the new blood, they've forgotten. They think it's all just superstition. But the signs are there, and they always have been. And so the night passes. But for some, the fear has already set in. Eleanor, a lifelong resident, feels the same chill she felt as a child. The signs are clear. The curse is upon them. And tonight, they will face it. The clock is ticking, and the wolves are stirring. As the full moon rises, Hollowbrook braces for the night ahead. The creatures of the darkness stir beneath the earth, hidden in the shadows. The moon calls them forth, and tonight they will come. The curse, once forgotten, is now alive again. And as the first howl rings out, the nightmare begins. Will Hollowbrook survive the curse once more? Or will it become another chapter in the legends of the night? As the full moon rises higher, the night grows darker. The once familiar streets of Hollowbrook now seem unfamiliar, twisted by the weight of an ancient curse. The town, steeped in tradition, prepares for the Halloween festivities, unaware of the true horror that is about to unfold. But for some, the signs are clear. The air is thick with a sense of dread, heavy with something that cannot be explained. A fog begins to roll in, slowly swallowing the streets, as if the earth itself is trying to hide from what's coming. In the distance, the faint sound of church bells rings out, marking the passing of time. But even this familiar sound seems strange tonight, warped by the unnatural quiet that has settled over Hollowbrook. The children's laughter grows more nervous, their playful shouts lingering in the air like a ghost, as though they know something is wrong, even if they can't understand it. Some of them whisper to each other, pointing toward the woods, where shadows move in ways they should not. The wind picks up, carrying with it a strange scent, earthy, metallic, and unfamiliar. Animals start to act strangely, barking and growling at nothing, their fur standing on end. A cat hisses at the wind, eyes wide with terror, before darting off into the darkness. In the old part of town, a man named Thomas stands at the edge of the cemetery, staring at the overgrown graves. He has lived in Hollowbrook his whole life, but tonight, even he feels the pull of something ancient, something buried beneath the soil of his town. He looks up at the moon, now fully risen, and swallows hard. It's too quiet, too still. It's never been like this before. Something has awakened. The shadows shift, but not from the wind. The graveyard seems to hold its breath, as if it knows the town's fate. And Thomas isn't the only one who feels it. Across the town, whispers ripple through the air. People pause mid-sentence as an unsettling chill runs down their spines. The streets feel colder, the darkness deeper. The town is closing in on itself, as if the night is conspiring against them. There is a strange pull tonight, a connection to something beyond the veil, something that cannot be ignored. Even the very ground beneath their feet feels different, as if it too is waking up, stretching from a long slumber. The sound of distant howls echoes through the town, close, but not quite close enough to be real. It's almost as if the very air carries the weight of something that has always been there, waiting, watching. The howl of a wolf, but not a normal one. Something far worse. As the clock ticks closer to midnight, the town begins to unravel. In the distance, a flickering light draws the eye. A candle in the window of the old church, casting shadows that seem too long too deliberate. It flickers, like the heartbeat of the town itself, struggling to keep the darkness at bay. And then it happens. In the woods, the first sign of danger. A rustling noise, followed by the unmistakable snap of a twig. Something large, moving through the underbrush. And yet, nothing is there. The moon's light casts long shadows, but there's something unnatural about them. A shape that shifts too quickly. A shadow that doesn't match the movement. More footsteps. Not human. Not animal. Something else entirely. It moves with purpose, with hunger, and it's closing in. In the town's market square, the fog thickens. The streetlights flicker and then go out, one by one, as if the night is swallowing them whole. As the clock ticks closer to midnight, the air thickens with tension. The people of Hollowbrook, unaware of the storm they are about to face, go about their evening, unaware that the wolves are already upon them. The fog has rolled in thicker now, swallowing the streets, turning the town into a labyrinth of shadows and whispers. The once quiet night is now alive with strange sounds. Branches snapping, distant howls, and the occasional flicker of movement just beyond the reach of the streetlights. The town, eerily still, holds its breath. Everyone knows something is coming. The children have gone inside, their laughter replaced by anxious silence. The adults, too, have begun to feel it. Their hearts quicken, their nerves fray, as they wait for the inevitable. At the town's edge, the first sign of danger appears. A rustling in the trees, too loud to be the wind, followed by the unmistakable crack of bones shifting and growling from deep within the woods. A pair of glowing eyes pierce through the fog, watching, waiting. waiting. The first howl rings out, low, guttural, echoing through the fog. It reverberates through the bones of Hollow Brook, and with it comes a wave of dread, a feeling that something is about to break through the very fabric of the world itself. In the old town square, a young man named Joseph walks home after visiting the tavern. He pauses, feeling the hairs on his neck rise, his breath coming in shallow gasps. The howls are closer now. His pace quickens. The wind has stopped completely, and in the silence, his footsteps are all that can be heard. This is the beginning of the apocalypse, and the wolves are only the beginning. The clock has struck 12. The curse is now in full motion. The monsters, the legends, they're real. And Hollowbrook's fate is sealed. As the first wave of attacks begins, it's clear that survival will take more than just barricades and weapons. Hollowbrook must now face its darkest nightmare, a battle that will determine whether the town will survive or be consumed by the very creatures it tried to forget. The full moon now hangs high in the sky, casting a blood-red glow over Hollowbrook. The fog is thick, swirling around the streets, the air pungent with fear. The creatures are no longer hiding in the woods. They've come, and they are hungry. The town is now gripped by terror. Screams fill the air, breaking the unnatural stillness that had clung to Hollowbrook just hours ago. The howl of the wolves echoes again, closer now, louder. Their presence is no longer a mystery, but a brutal, terrifying truth. The survivors scatter, trying to make their way to safety. Some lock themselves in their homes, while others take to the streets, running from the beasts that now roam freely through their once peaceful town. The town has become a hunting ground, and the wolves are the predators. Inside the town's church, the remaining townsfolk gather, the last vestige of hope in Hollowbrook. They know that their only chance at survival is to hold the line here, to fight back against the creatures of the night that threaten to destroy everything they've ever known. Eleanor, shaken by the sight of the beasts that have ravaged her town, stands in the church doorway, clutching a heavy silver candlestick. Her breath is shallow, her mind reeling. Outside, she can hear the growls and howls growing closer. She knows that the only thing that can stop the wolves is silver. Her thoughts race back to the old stories, the tales told by the elders about the one thing that can pierce the skin of the beasts and drive them back to the darkness they came from. But even with silver, even with weapons at their disposal, they are outnumbered. The church door shakes with every thundering impact as a pack of wolves, larger than any human could have imagined, slams against it from the other side. Inside homes, behind barricades, the survivors fight for their lives. Some, armed with anything they can find, silver spoons, knives, anything that can fend off the beasts. Others hide in terror, clutching their children, praying for dawn. But there's no hope of safety tonight. The wolves are too strong, too many. Their claws tear through walls, their eyes glowing with hunger. The night is no longer just a time for tricks. It's a time for survival. Clara's heart pounds in her chest as the door crashes open. The wolf, massive, its fur bristling, its teeth sharp as knives, lunges at her. She tries to hold it off with a broomstick, but it's useless. The creature rips through the wood like paper, its claws finding flesh. Her scream is drowned out by the howl of the wolf as it devours her. Her children huddle in the corner, helpless, their eyes wide with terror as the beast prowls around the room, its jaws snapping. But Clara's sacrifice is not in vain. The wolf, sated for a moment, turns to leave, but the children, filled with rage and terror, fight back. One of them grabs a silver candle holder from the shelf and thrusts it at the beast. The silver strikes true, and the creature howls in pain as it recoils, its skin sizzling, its eyes narrowing in fury. The children escape the house as the creature retreats, wounded but not defeated. The night is still young, and the fight is far from over. In the church, inside, the survivors raise their weapons ready for the attack. The first wave of wolves crashes through the door. Claws scrape against stone, teeth gnash, and the battle begins in earnest. Silver bullets fly, piercing the creatures, but there are too many of them. Too many wolves, hungry for blood. The survivors hold their ground as best they can, but the wolves keep coming, clawing their way inside, breaking through every defense with unyielding strength. There's no escape, no sanctuary. Sarah stands, her eyes filled with tears and fear, but also with defiance. She holds the silver knife tightly, preparing to face the creature that will come for her. The wolves are almost upon her, and the fight is about to reach its most desperate moment. She swings the knife at a wolf lunging for her throat, but it's knocked aside. The beast growls, its teeth snapping dangerously close to her face. Her heart races as the creature bears down on her, ready to strike. The wolves are upon them. Their howls fill the night air, sharp and feral, as they close in on the survivors, hungry and relentless. The church is no longer a sanctuary. It has become a battleground. The survivors, armed with silver, desperation, and courage, prepare to face their fate. Outside, the fog thickens, turning the town into a nightmare of shadows. The wolves, drawn by scent and instinct, converge from every direction, a pack of nightmares unleashed upon Hollowbrook. They are stronger than any human, faster than any prey. They are death itself, hunting those who dared to challenge the curse. Inside the church, the survivors fight with all their might, using silver weapons, makeshift traps, anything they can find. They fire, they strike, they scream. Each person fighting for their life and for the lives of those they love. Sarah, trembling but determined, swings her silver knife at a wolf that lunges for her. Her heart races, her breath coming in ragged gasps as she battles the creature in front of her. She thrusts, the silver cutting through the beast's fur, its howls of pain ringing through the church. But the fight is far from over. The wolves aren't just attacking from the door. They are everywhere, slithering through cracks, breaking windows, pushing through the walls. They are no longer just creatures of the night. They are the night, bringing the full weight of their terror. The door splinters with a final, thunderous crack. The wolves are inside. Their eyes gleam with hunger as they surge forward, claws slashing, teeth snapping. The survivors are overwhelmed, surrounded on all sides by beasts too powerful to defeat. There is no escape. There is only survival. Eleanor, her breath shallow, her body trembling with fear, faces a massive wolf charging toward her. She raises the silver candlestick, her only weapon, and swings it with all her might. It's not enough. The wolf knocks it aside with a swipe of its claws, sending her sprawling to the floor. But just as the wolf prepares to deliver the fatal blow, a shot rings out from behind. A survivor, the town's blacksmith, aims a rifle and fires, hitting the wolf square in the chest. The creature howls, rears back, but doesn't fall. The blacksmith is already reaching for another round, desperate to reload. The fight is endless, and the survivors are growing weaker with each passing minute. They know the truth. This may be the end. But there is one last hope. Dawn. The curse will end at sunrise, but that feels like an eternity away. The survivors are running on fumes, both physically and mentally. Martha, a woman who has lived through countless horrors. One survivor, a young man named Jack, stumbles and falls, his foot caught in a crack in the road. The others scream for him to get up, but the wolves are closing in. He looks behind him, sees the shadows moving faster than he can run. Go. Don't wait for me. But they don't leave him behind. They reach for him, pulling him to his feet, just as the wolves descend upon them. With one last burst of adrenaline, they sprint forward, pushing through the fog, desperate to find safety. Ahead, the edge of town looms, a line of trees marking the border between Hollowbrook and the wilderness. The wolves are close now, their howls ringing in their ears. But the survivors don't look back. They don't dare. They push through the fear, through the fog, and into the forest beyond. The survivors break free from the pack's grasp, fleeing into the woods beyond the town. The wolves do not follow. They halt at the tree line, as if some invisible force is keeping them at bay. The town of Hollowbrook is behind them, a shattered ruin, and the howls of the wolves fade into the distance. For now, they are safe. But the survivors know that this night is far from over. The curse of Hollowbrook, though momentarily silenced, has not been broken. The wolves may have retreated, but the shadow of their hunger will remain long after dawn. The survivors have escaped for now, but as the night wears on, the full moon fades and the dawn begins to break. They realize one terrifying truth: the wolves will return, and next time they may not be so lucky. For now, they must find refuge, regroup, and wait. The curse of Hollowbrook is not so easily undone. The night is over, but the legacy of the wolves has only just begun. The survivors push forward, knowing that the shrine, if it exists, is their only hope. But the wolves are patient. They know the survivors are close. They know they are weakening. And then the first one appears, emerging from the trees, a shadow with glowing eyes. The others follow, more and more of them emerging from the fog, silent and deadly. The survivors draw their weapons, ready to fight. But they know, deep down, that this may be their final battle. The wolves close in. Their growls are deep and guttural, their eyes filled with hunger. The survivors know that this is it. This is their last chance to stop the curse, to stop the pack. But the wolves are many, and they are strong. The survivors are outnumbered and exhausted. One by one, they turn to face the wolves, their silver weapons in hand, their faces set with grim determination. They know they have no choice but to fight until the very end. But just as the wolves close in, a loud, powerful roar shakes the ground. The earth trembles beneath their feet, and the sky darkens. It is not the wolves that roar. It is something else, something ancient, something far worse than the wolves. The ground cracks open, and from the earth itself, a new, terrifying creature emerges. It is massive, larger than anything they've ever seen. Its eyes burn with the same red glow as the full moon, and its body is made of shadow and fury. The creature is the source of the curse, and it has come to reclaim the land. The survivors now face their greatest challenge yet. The wolves may have been the hunters, but this creature is the hunter's master. Hollowbrook is lost, but their fight is not over. They must face the beast that controls the curse if they hope to survive, if they hope to save what remains of the world. They must defeat it. The the final battle has begun. The earth trembles beneath their feet as the massive creature rises from the depths of the earth. Its form is like nothing the survivors have ever seen. Twisted and immense. Its body composed of shadow and fury. Its eyes glow with an unnatural red hue, burning like the full moon itself. This is not just another wolf. This is the source of the curse, the master of the beasts that have ravaged Hollowbrook, the entity that has kept the town in its grip for centuries. It has come to reclaim its dominion over the land, and the survivors, for the first time, realize the true extent of the terror they face. The wolves circle around the creature, waiting as if respecting its authority. They are the hunters, but this is the true predator, the one who has controlled their every move. The survivors know that this creature, this monstrous being, is their only hope for survival, or their final end. The survivors freeze, their bodies locked in place, their minds struggling to comprehend what they are seeing. This creature is not just a physical manifestation of evil. It is the curse itself, brought to life. It towers over them, casting a shadow so dark it seems to consume everything in its path. There is no escape now. This is the final moment. The survivors must confront the creature that has haunted them, that has shaped their fate. They have no choice but to face it head on. With trembling hands, William steps forward, holding the silver knife, the last weapon they have that could possibly defeat the beast. He raises it, chanting the ancient incantation he's learned from the town's old records. The words feel foreign on his tongue, but they carry a power that has been dormant for centuries. The creature laughs, a deep, rumbling sound that shakes the earth beneath their feet. You think your feeble ritual will stop me? I am the curse. You cannot break what has already been bound. You will perish as the others have. But despite the creature's words, the survivors do not waver. They continue the chant, their voices rising in unison, louder and stronger with each passing moment. The air is thick with power as the ritual reaches its climax. The earth trembles, the wind howls, and the sky above the shrine cracks open with a flash of lightning. The creature roars in fury as it feels its hold on the land beginning to slip away. But the ritual is not without its cost. The survivors feel their strength waning, their bodies growing weaker with each passing moment. The power of the curse is pulling at them, trying to drag them into the darkness. The beast fights back, its claws slashing through the air. But the survivors press on. They know that the ritual is their only chance to save the town, to destroy the creature that has brought nothing but suffering. With one final earth-shattering roar, the creature collapses, its form dissolving into the shadows from which it came. The wolves, too, begin to retreat, their eyes fading into the darkness as the curse begins to lift. Hollowbrook is free. But the survivors know that the damage has been done. The town is lost. The wolves are gone, but their legacy will remain. The curse has been broken, but at a great cost. As the first light of dawn breaks across the horizon, the survivors stand among the ruins of Hollowbrook. The curse is gone, but the town they once knew is no more. The land is scarred, and the past will forever haunt their memories. But they have survived. They have faced the darkness and emerged victorious. The wolves are no longer a threat, but the memory of this night will never fade. And as they walk away from the ruins, the survivors know that some curses never truly die. They only sleep, waiting for the next full moon. The first light of dawn breaks over the land, casting a soft, pale glow over the remains of Hollowbrook. The fog, once thick with terror, begins to dissipate, leaving behind a quiet emptiness. The wolves are gone. The curse has been broken. But what remains is not peace. The survivors stand amidst the ruins, their bodies battered and their spirits weary. The battle is over, but the weight of what they've lost hangs heavy in the air. Hollowbrook is no more. The town they once knew, with its people, its stories, its life, has been swallowed by the night. The survivors sit in silence, each of them lost in their thoughts, mourning what has been taken, their homes, their families, their way of life. Everything has been consumed by the curse. The quiet of the morning seems foreign, as if the earth itself is trying to heal. But the scars of the night are too deep. Eleanor, her eyes hollow with grief, looks over the charred remains of the town. She thinks they don't know where the road will lead, but they do know one thing. They must keep moving forward. We can't stay here. Hollowbrook is dead. But we're still alive. And as long as we're alive, we fight. We rebuild. Her words, though heavy with grief, are filled with resolve. The survivors may have lost their town, but they have not lost their will to survive. The curse is broken, but there are still demons to face, both outside and within. As the survivors leave Hollowbrook behind, the land breathes a sigh of relief. The curse has been broken, but the echoes of the past linger. The forest, once home to nightmares, now lies silent. The wolves, the shadows, the creatures, they are gone, but their mark remains, carved into the land itself. And though the survivors have won this battle, the scars of Hollowbrook will never fade. The curse may be gone, but it's clear that its legacy remains. The survivors carry it with them, an unspoken reminder that no victory comes without sacrifice. But as the survivors leave the cursed land behind, something watches from the shadows, something that has been waiting. The curse of Hollowbrook may have ended, but its roots run deep, far deeper than they realize. And as they walk away, a new threat stirs in the distance, one that will follow them and the land wherever they go. The wolves are no more. The curse has been broken, but the survivors know better than anyone. Evil is never truly vanquished. It only sleeps, waiting for the right moment to return. And for those who have faced the darkness, the journey is never over. As the survivors walk into the uncertain dawn, they leave behind the town of Hollowbrook, but they will carry the memories, the pain, and the knowledge of the curse wherever they go. For the wolves may be gone, but the night, as they have learned, is never truly safe. The survivors have walked away from Hollowbrook, leaving its ruined streets and the remnants of the battle behind them. The curse that has plagued the land for centuries has been broken, or so they believe. But deep within the forest, something stirs in the shadows, a presence far darker than they know, waiting for the right moment to rise again. The survivors walk in silence, the weight of their journey heavy on their shoulders. The quiet of the wilderness is almost too much to bear. No birds sing, No animals move. It's as if the earth itself has gone still, holding its breath, waiting for something terrible to awaken. As they travel deeper into the forest, the survivors begin to feel an unsettling presence around them. Something just beyond the reach of their sight, lurking in the shadows. They are not alone. A chill runs through them, creeping along their spines like a whisper they cannot understand. Then, as if to confirm their fears, a figure steps from behind a tree, a shadow, almost human in shape, but too tall, too thin. Its eyes gleam in the darkness, glowing a faint, unnatural red, just like the creatures that had haunted Hollowbrook. The survivors freeze, their breath catching in their throats. Who? Who are you? The figure does not answer, instead moving closer. Its eyes never leave them, glowing brighter with each step. Its presence is suffocating, like the darkness itself. And for a moment, it feels like the very air around them has thickened, become suffused with malevolence. The figure tilts its head, and the survivors hear its voice, a low, rasping sound that echoes in their minds more than their ears. You have only delayed the inevitable. The curse will never end. It is tied to this land, to the very earth beneath your feet. You will never escape it. Hollowbrook was only a beginning. The survivors' hearts pound in their chests as they face the figure. It is not like the wolves. It does not move like them, nor does it feel like them. This creature is ancient, perhaps even predating the curse itself. Their weapons, silver and steel, may have been enough to fight off the wolves, but they are no match for this entity. It is too powerful, too old. The figure raises its hand once more, and the very ground beneath the survivors trembles. Cracks spreading across the earth. The air is filled with a dark energy that seems to crush the survivors' resolve, threatening to swallow them whole. But as the ground splits open, a bright flash of light, blinding and pure, erupts from the earth itself, momentarily illuminating the entire forest. The figure snarls, retreating back into the shadows, the light too much for it to bear. The light fades as quickly as it appeared, leaving the survivors standing in the forest, their hearts still racing. The creature is gone, for now, but they know that it is not defeated. It has retreated, biding its time, waiting for the next moment to strike. The survivors exchange wary glances. This is not over. The curse, though broken in Hollowbrook, still holds sway over the land, and the true force behind it is far from vanquished. The creature is out there, watching, waiting for the next opportunity to rise again. The survivors are left with one final, terrifying thought. The darkness is not done with them yet. The land may be free of wolves, but the true enemy has only just begun to make its move. And so, with the knowledge of a deeper darkness looming, the survivors press on, their path uncertain, but their fight for survival far from over. For they know now that the land holds more than just curses. It holds a power far beyond their understanding, a power they must face, one way or another, if they are to survive.